Hello there, very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. On behalf of the Newsfirst, the voice of the people, I am Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
Victims of the April 21st attacks take to the streets seeking justice. 9-acre National Sandalwood Garden declared open in Colombo. Audit conducted into the distribution of the 5,000 rupee allowance unearths several discrepancies. Another life lost due to the human-elephant conflict. French President Emmanuel Macron among 14 heads of states on potential spyware list.
On to your top story this afternoon. The event to declare open the 9-acre National Sandalwood Garden was held last evening.
The National Sandalwood Garden, situated in the environment of the Ape Gamam Heritage Museum premises, consists of 300 extremely rare red sandalwood trees and 900 white sandalwood trees. The National Sandalwood Garden, created based on the green concept, was vested with the public by Minister Namal Rajapaksa. The Sandalwood Garden can be enjoyed by the general public free of charge. The land where the garden is situated comes under the purview of the Urban Development Authority. The Sandalwood Garden is ideal for meditation and physical fitness purposes. Further, authorities have reserved an area for musical shows, cultural pageants and other events to be held within the Sandalwood Garden. The first phase of the project had costed 132 million rupees, while the second phase has been completed at a cost of 162 million rupees. Around 300 million people whose livelihoods were disrupted as a result of COVID-19 and the tourism industry collapsing can recommence those activities. We have assured the virus is contained through an organized vaccination drive while working towards creating economic and social stability. We believe during the tenure of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, we can once again convert Sri Lanka into the fastest growing economy in South Asia.
Minister of Trade Bandula Gunawardena has revealed laws are being formulated to reduce the price of rice over the next 2 to 3 weeks' time. He expressed the following views at a media briefing held earlier today.
We know that the price of Nadu is 120 rupees, Samba 150, Kiri Samba is 220. We have taken steps to amend current regulations over the next 2 to 3 weeks to reduce the prices of rice by around 20 rupees from the existing price. The fine imposed on selling above the maximum price has been increased from 2,500 rupees to 100,000 rupees. The government will import 100,000 metric tons of rice and store them as a buffer stock. The government has stipulated prices for those who want to purchase paddy. They can purchase it at any price but cannot sell above the maximum price. We will not allow the prices of Nadu and Kakulu rice to exceed 100 rupees because that is the meal of the common man.
A protest was staged today stating that justice has not been served to the victims of the April 21st attacks.
The protest commenced from the Baldi junction in Negombo. The group then marched towards the Katuapitiya church. A public awareness campaign also took place from door to door. Protesters allege that even though 28 months have passed, justice has not been served to the victims of the attacks. The protest was organized by the Negombo Citizens Committee.
Another protest requesting solutions to the salary anomalies of teachers and principals was held in Ratnapura today.
Our correspondent said the vehicular movement along the Ratnapura main road was disrupted. The All Ceylon's Teachers Association, Teacher and Principals Trade Union, Association of Education Professors and several other teachers' associations joined the protest.
Former parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra has filed an appeal at the Supreme Court seeking the annulment of the presidential pardon, releasing the 11th accused, namely Duminda Silva, in the murder case of 4 people, including former MP Bharata Lakshman Premachandra. The Attorney General and the Minister of Justice have been named as respondents in the appeal on behalf of the President, while the Attorney General and Duminda Silva have also been named as respondents. Meanwhile, an interim report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry appointed to investigate, inquire into and report or take necessary actions on findings of proceedings, commissions or committees appointed to investigate into human rights violations, serious violations of international humanitarian law and other such offences was handed over to the President last evening at the Presidential Secretariat.
The interim report highlights that the Presidential Commission is not in agreement with the sentiment that the Prevention of Terrorism Act should be abolished. They further point out laws used in countries including Great Britain should be studied prior to the PTA being amended. The Commission has paid special attention to sections 9, 11 and 13 of the Prevention of Terrorism Act and has made 3 proposals for the implementation of the PTA in a more democratic manner. One such amendment is concluding trials expeditiously after filing indictments against those who have been detained for 3 months or more under Section 9 of the PTA. The other proposal is an amendment to Section 11. Instead of holding detainees at a prison, they should be detained at their residence or area of residence under special protection. The interim report also notes, based on Section 13, an advisory committee with a minimum of 3 members representing all races must be appointed to advise the President. The Commission was appointed based on 2 extraordinary gazettes issued by the President on the 21st of January and 12th of February this year. The Commission was appointed to investigate, inquire into and report or take necessary actions on findings of preceding commissions or committees appointed to investigate into human rights violations, serious violations of international humanitarian law and other such offences. Supreme Court Judge A.H.M.D. Nawaz was appointed as the chairman of the Commission, while retired Inspector General of Police Chandra Fernando and retired District Secretary Nimal Abesiri are the other members.
Giving prominence to generosity and unity, Muslims in Sri Lanka celebrated the festival of Eid al-Adha today.
Eid al-Adha, also known as the Hajj festival, is one of the 2 festivals of Islam and is celebrated by all Muslims on the 10th day of Dhul Hijjah. The Muslim festival marks the conclusion of the important worship of Hajj or pilgrimage to Mecca. Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Religious observances at mosques across the island took place today, adhering to health regulations. A special religious service was held at the Colombo Grand Mosque this morning to mark the Hajj festival. Our correspondent said that a large number of devotees had gathered for the service. Religious observances were also held at the Valawata Muhaddin Jummah Masjid today.
سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر.
Issuing his message for the Hajj festival, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said, "The Hajj festival is a spiritual celebration that displays the spirit of mutual understanding, compassion and exchange of fond greetings among the Islam devotees the world over. The Hajj period will pave the way for the Islam devotees who still follow the life lessons of Prophet Muhammad to achieve spirituality in this life and after, and divine intimacy as aspired." Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, while adding Hajj festival wishes, said, "We pray to God on this auspicious day to eradicate COVID-19. He added objectives of the Hajj festival, which commemorates friendship and reconciliation, will become a reality. Hajj is a day that symbolizes the importance of self-sacrifice. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa states in his Hajj message that equality and social justice will be established through this. The message also states that equality is needed today more than ever. The Janata Vimukti Peramana alleges that shares of the Keravalapitia power plant have been handed over to the US already. They allege that even the subject minister is unaware of this transaction.
කෙරවලපිටිය බලාගාරයේ කොටස් 40ක් ඇමරිකාවේ new.
The cabinet has already approved the handing over of 40% of shares of the Keravalapitia power plant to a US-based firm under the name New Fortress Energy. What is sad to hear is that Dala Salha Peramo, who is the minister in charge of energy, and Uday Gammampila, the minister in charge of petroleum, were unaware of this transaction until the cabinet paper was tabled at the cabinet meeting. They got to know about this on the day of the cabinet meeting when they saw the cabinet paper. Mahinda Rajapaksa was the one who submitted this paper, and Basil Rajapaksa continued the process. According to the conditions of this agreement, the agreement provides for a 5-year monopoly on the supply of our country's LNG on natural gas to the United States. Also, this will give the US the right to dock vessels with the gas storage and warehouse required for the construction of the Keravalapitia LNG power plant. Then, according to the proposal, the United States will be able to keep its vessel in our territorial waters and maintain a gas storage unit. Not only that, the construction of a pipeline from there to Keravalapitia will be handed over to the American company without calling for tenders. These will pave the way for the American company to buy 40% of the shares of the Keravalapitia power plant. When journalists questioned Vimal Veeravansa on the matter, he said that this will be given to an American company and not to America. If that is so, the same goes with the MCC agreement as well. After taking over these shares of the Keravalapitia power plant, the American firm will take over the ownership of our entire energy sector.
මෙහෙම ඔළුව දාගත්තම පස්සේ ඇමරිකානු සමාගම කෙරවලපිටිය බලාගාරයට අපේ සමස්ත බලශක්ති ශේෂ්ත්‍රය අයිතිය ඔවුන්ට යනවා.
A person has been arrested for stealing copper wire parts from 4 air conditioner units installed at the SLFP headquarters on Dali Road. Police media spokesperson Senior DIG Ajit Rohana stated that a 23-year-old resident of Imamullah Rus Road in Colombo 10 has been arrested in connection to the incident.
After the preliminary inquiry, we have been able to arrest the person involved in this theft. We have been able to recover the stolen items as well. It was reported to me that this individual is a drug addict. He is expected to be presented before the Halstorf Magistrate Court in Colombo during the course of the day.
An audit conducted into the program to dole out 5,000 rupees for those severely affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic has unearthed several discrepancies. According to the Auditor General WPC Vikramaratne, relevant divisional secretaries have been notified of the discrepancies which have been identified. The audit has revealed instances where a sum of exceeding 5,000 rupees had been paid to beneficiaries. The Auditor General has directed divisional secretaries to reclaim the funds lost through this anomaly. The Auditor General said the audit had been conducted in all provinces bearing the Western Province. A detailed report on the matter is to be presented to the Parliament in the future. Meanwhile, it has been decided to seek international assistance on investigations to identify the losses caused by the Express Pearl maritime disaster.
During a meeting of the committee appointed to probe the matter, the Marine Environmental Protection Authority said it was paying more attention to the deaths of marine life following the disaster. MIPA said that steps will be taken to identify laboratories conducting international investigations and send samples to those laboratories for investigations. Meanwhile, the removal of the Express Pearl wreck from Sri Lankan waters has been further delayed. This is due to the adverse weather conditions at sea. However, the Marine Environmental Protection Authority said that the ship's owner had informed that the vessel will be removed from Sri Lankan waters soon.
The carcass of a turtle has been spotted from the Payagala coast. According to our correspondent, the turtle weighs around 40 kilograms. Police officers had arrived at the scene after being notified of the carcass by fishermen in the area. The carcass is to be handed over to Hikkaduwa Wildlife Office with the intervention of the police.
Canada's British Columbia declared a state of emergency as nearly 300 wildfires are actively burning across the western province.
The state of emergency was declared as wildfires have forced hundreds of people from their homes and could worsen in the coming days. According to a provincial wildfire tracker, 299 blazes were actively burning across British Columbia yesterday afternoon, including 18 that were sparked during the previous 2 days. Mike Farnworth, British Columbia's Minister of Public Safety, speaking at a media briefing, said that more than 3,185 fighters and other staff are fighting fires across the province. He said more evacuations could be ordered as the weather forecast during the next few days may fuel the blazes.
Torrential rain has caused severe flooding in parts of central China, forcing people from their homes and leaving stations and roads submerged.
More than 10,000 people in Henan province have been evacuated to shelters following the record rainfall. Authorities confirmed that at least 12 people have died in the city of Zhengzhou since the flooding began. More than a dozen cities have been affected, with main roads forced to close and flights cancelled. The Henan province, which is home to some 94 million people, has issued its highest level of weather warning following an unusually active rainy season. There are also fears that a dam in Henan province could collapse after it was damaged by the recent storms.
Billionaire and longtime Donald Trump ally Thomas J. Barack has been arrested in Los Angeles for allegedly acting as an agent of a foreign government.
The 74-year-old investment firm founder served as a key advisor to the former US president's 2016 campaign and was considered a top fundraiser. Barack is accused of illegally lobbying on behalf of the United Arab Emirates during and after the campaign. A spokesperson for Barack said he planned to plead not guilty. He is the latest ex-Trump official to face federal charges. Barack is charged with conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and making multiple false statements to the FBI during a 2019 interview.
In more international news, the authorities in northwestern Nigeria say they have freed 100 women and children who were seized by bandits.
A group were abducted on the 8th of June in Zamfara state in Nigeria. 4 people were also killed during the incident. The Zamfara state group said they were released without any ransom being paid, but gave no further details. The group will now be given medical checks and debriefed before they return to their homes. A spate of kidnappings has taken place in the region during recent months. Since December of 2020, more than 1,000 people have been abducted. Most have been later freed, reportedly after ransom were paid, but some have been killed.
French President Emmanuel Macron leads a list of 14 current or former heads of state who may have been targeted for hacking by clients of the notorious Israeli spyware firm Neso Group through the Pegasus spyware app. The French presidency said that if the revelations about Macron's phone were true, they would be very serious. According to sources, one of Macron's phone numbers, which he had used regularly since 2017, is on the list of numbers selected by Morocco's intelligence service for potential cyber spying. Morocco had issued a statement denying any involvement in using Pegasus and rejecting what it called unfounded and false allegations. An investigation published recently by 17 media organizations led by the Paris-based non-profit journalism group Forbidden Stories said the spyware made and licensed by Israeli company Neso had been used in attempted and successful hacks of smartphones belonging to journalists, government officials, and human rights activists. Taking a look back at more local news, the father of two, a resident of Tirupani, has lost his life due to the relentless human-elephant conflict. Here are some other views expressed by the parliamentarian of TNA Rasamanikam in Parliament yesterday.
Under the Utturu Asante program, a plan has been passed to construct a petrol station in Kilinochchi. You need to find more about this project, including the background of the dealers involved in it. One of the figures involved in this deal is UGE Hansamali.
Hansamali කියන නම කියපු ගමන් පොඩ්ඩක් හොයලා බලයි දැන්. මිසිස් නෑ ඒ Hansamali නේ මේ වෙන Hansamali කෙනෙක් මං හිතන්නේ. මිසිස් UG Hansamali කියන පුද්ගලයෙක්ටත් මේ පෙට්‍රල් ඇමතුමා මේ ඇමතුමාගේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෙවෙයි.
Minister, you do not need to panic when you hear that name. This matter doesn't concern you. Also, we know that Pillan earned a large sum of money through the Naginahira Vasante program. I have more details on the Utturu Vasante program, but I do not have enough time to reveal it since I have only 3 minutes. In these documents, there is information of a private company that is running under the name Trade Lanka Private Limited. You should find more details on the importers of this company. I will submit those documents. I can surely say that even cabinet ministers are involved in these deals.
Cabinet ඇමතිවරුත් සම්බන්ධයි කියන එකත් මම මෙතන කියන්න පුළුවන්.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For details of these stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst